are relevant skills. So even if you haven't worked in a structured organization and you're looking for a job and you're just fresh from school, you can put that in there and tell us what you did. You helped your mom do this, you helped your organization achieve this, you managed people. They're all experiences. Now, for people that have work experience, you put in your job title, the organization, and ensure it's in a reverse chronological order. So recently, someone sent me a CV. As I said, it takes a few seconds for someone to look at a CV. So he sent me a CV and he puts his first job at the beginning. So I think he started working in 1990 something, 98, and then he sent the CV, and I just looked and I saw 1998, and I was like, this CV is not updated. It was later he came like, no, that is at the bottom. I've updated it, and I'm like, no, nobody has time to call you back and ask you. You're just looking at, at a quick glance. So ensure that you have your most recent role down to the very first role you had. Then highlight key responsibilities and achievements. Achievements, as I said, is very key. Data-driven achievements. And then if possible, there are many organizations, there are many companies who don't know what, you might put ABC Limited. I don't know what ABC Limited. I might be recruiting for a construction company and I'm looking for someone that has worked in a construction company. Now I put ABC Limited, I'm still trying to juggle between, is this person stable candidate? But if you put underneath that, okay, construction company, Nigerian or indigenous construction company, or consulting, whatever, I know what the company has done, where you have worked. So this is an example of an experienced business development analyst, one of his roles. So he put ABC Limited and he wrote, a leading food retail business in Nigeria with the goal of growing to become a Pan-African franchise. So you can see that there's data. So for people that are in sales and business development, most organizations are looking for salespeople so that they can come and move their numbers, bring them money, move their businesses and all that. So the person is, see the first line, build a reputation rapidly for working successfully with previously disgruntled clients, which improved relationship by 30%, created 150%, blah, blah, blah. And then look at the key achievements. Having attained great strides, I was promoted, told us he was promoted due to strong performance. He managed 3 billion staff together, put together through teamwork, increased company revenue by 75%. So data sells you. Okay, someone might say, what if I don't work in, have not worked, probably I'm a teacher. What data am I going to put in? You have data of the number of students you have taught. You should have data of their scores, how well they performed, probably term after term. If there was an improvement when you came in. If it's a customer service role, what have you done? Have you increased retainership, or have you retained clients? How many customers do you attend to in a day? Ensure that there's always data. Data sells you, like it sells you more than when you just put in so much English and then people cannot really relate. Now this is for a fresh graduate. So the person actually did an IT in the animal feed, allowed animal feed. So you can see, kept daily financial records, supervised daily sales, coordinator, this is in school, student fellowship, this one, all these things. It doesn't have to be so much. 2, 3 strong things that you did would show that, okay, he has an idea of finance, he has an idea of managing people, he has admin knowledge, he has this, he has that. So it sells you when you don't just come in, you just put in ABC Limited, business development, and then the year. You don't tell us what you did. How do we know that you're suitable for the role? So if there's no description, if there's no breakdown, sorry, you're limiting your chances. All right, educational background. So you can either come before your work experience. I tell people that if you went to a school that is not so prestigious, there are some schools, we all agree, there are some schools that people raise an eyebrow. When you tell them I graduated from this school, they'll be like, To prevent all that bias, as I said, there's always a bias behind. So put in your work experience first. Let that one sell you. Feel like, okay, yeah, he's done this, he's done that. But when they see that school, are you sure that this person it brings a little doubt. But once you have good experience and you project it well, all those biases can be knocked off. So include relevant certifications and highlight schools that you attended. This is an example. Someone with a higher degree. This is, so if you're a fresh graduate, you can put in, if you did very well, probably you had a 2-1 or a first class and you want to sell yourself more, you can put the GPA. You can put this, if there's some courses that you did that relates to the role, you can put them there to sell yourself more. Okay, qualifications, this is an example of project management with HR, whatever it is. You put the name of what's qualification, the body that gave it to you, what year. If it's a training, you put it to, and where you got it from and the year. Hobbies and interests is it's not compulsory. You may want to, you may not want to add it. But whatever you are putting, make sure it's productive, something that is related to the role that you're applying for. So watching movies, okay, how will it sell you? Think about whatever you're doing, think about value, think about selling. I'm selling myself. Is it going to sell me well? Sometime, I don't know if it was last year, somebody's CV, it was trending that someone puts hobbies, making love. That was like out of, as in, how? So please, if you know that you don't, the job doesn't really need you to put in a hobby, right? Or if you're a fresh graduate and you want to put in something that will sell you more, please make it something productive, not something that will just X you from the pack. References, it's best to leave it out unless it is required. If you want to put something, you can put references available on request. Sorry for the typo there. Ensure that you do not expose the details of your referees. Please, many people still put their referee's name, their email, their address or their office address, their phone number. You don't know who's on the other side. Please do not expose their details unless you ask for it. Usually in the first stage of recruitment process, they're not asking for all that. So please do not include it. Yeah, so cover letter, sorry. All right, so cover letter, I'm trying to hurry up. I can see we're running out of time. A cover letter is an improved application letter. When we're in school, in secondary school, we're taught about how to write formal letters and taught about how to write application letters. So a cover letter is like the modern application letter. You can either send it as an attachment or a body of the email. So it summarizes everything that's in your CV. It outlines key achievements in relation to the role applied for, and it tells the hiring manager your value proposition. So it's like, if you're bidding for a contract, in as much as if you're bidding for a contract, you have a voluminous document, but this is a one-pager that punches, that just jumps at the hiring manager saying, this is me, I can do it, I have this, I know what you want, this is me. So that's what the cover letter is supposed to do. So you start with the salutation, right? You don't know who is on the other end. The advice to use their hiring manager. Some people put dear sir, ma, but to be more professional, use their hiring manager. To tell us who you are, right? You're telling us what you do, right? When I say who you are, I don't necessarily mean my name is this, I'm from so place, I live at this. I mean, you're telling us I am a value creator, I develop websites for so and so, I help to pacify customers, I help organizations derive value. Tell us what you can bring, what you are, what you do, what's your profession in a valuable way, right? Then before then, make sure that you have done like a background check about the organization, what they do. And then from the job description, tell us what you think that the job entails and how your past achievements make you suitable for the role. So if it's saying that it's looking for someone that can train or that can teach children, you tell us schools you have taught in and what impact you made there, what achievements you made there. The value proposition. This term value proposition always causes trouble most times because sometimes I put up an ad and I tell people what's a value proposition And they're like 200,000. And I'm like, no. Please, if you don't know a word, go to Google. Value proposition is asking, what value are you proposing? What value are you bringing to the table? So after having gone through your introduction, telling us what you have done, what are you now going to do? So you're telling us what you're going to do in relation to that job description you've seen, in relation to that job ad. What is selling? What is your selling points? Let me know that one. What's your selling point? Tell us your selling point. And then you close in a very formal way that would entice the recruiter, want him to meet you and all that. So this is an example. I'm not going to read it. This is just an example of a cover letter of an experienced hire. So you can see the person, see data again, see the person, tell us about his skills, tell us about what he does, what he's going to do, clear. This one too, this is for someone that is pretty fresh. You can see he's talking about his graduate period, what he did, he worked in a library. Then this is what the achievements outlining. And make sure it is clear language, straight to the point, and catchy. Try and desist from, or rather discourage yourself from always using templates. Freestyle, write as if you are writing, write as you're talking, like write as you speak. In other words, like write as if you are writing to someone that in quotes. So when you write more passionately, but when you use a template, it doesn't really flow. So try and flow, write from your mind and show that you're passionate about what you're applying for. So these are the general guidelines, the summary of everything. You have done your CV, you've done your cover letter. It is stellar. And now, you now go and send the application and you now send a blank mail. Please, many people do this a lot. And I know a couple of people here do it. When you're sending a CV, please, at least put, dear hiring manager, please see attached my resume or my CV and my cover letter for the role applied for. Do not send blank mails. Some people do not put any subjects. You just send without a subject. You might have the best CV, but more often than not, people that send blank mails, people that don't put subjects, you see their CV, it's not far from the sender. Okay, so do not send forwarded application emails. So you send to Cadbury, you're sending to Nest, the same mail that you sent, you forward it. You're sending to Nigerian breweries, you forward it. Forwarded messages, it doesn't tell well about you at all. Please try and not do that. You're sending to a particular email address, send it to that person. A fresh person, send. It shows laziness if you keep forwarding application mails. Do not attach CVs from your drive. Some people attach, you see a job, somebody applied and there's a drive, and you want the hiring manager to click, and then sometimes the person needs approval, it's a little here and there. Best thing to do, just attach it, and a Word document or a PDF document. When applying on an ATS, as I had said earlier, is a software that tracks and ensuring that there are keywords on the CVs that it's selecting. Ensure that you are using a Word format. Most times, most ATSs cannot decode PDFs. So ensure that you're using a Word format. For those of us that might have used ATS, ask what's an ATS, you might have applied on things like JobVite, maybe Zoho, and a couple of them. Those are ATSs, where the hiring manager puts a link and it now directs you to another form. And all that's an ATS. Okay, so use professional fonts, Arial, Times, New Roman, Calibri. There are so many of them, but ensure that it's professional. And the size of your font should be depending on what you choose, but between 9 and 12. Not too big, not too small, presentable. There's no need to add picture to your CV unless they are requesting for it, or you're applying for a job as a model or something like that. But most times, the advice not to put it. Sometimes it causes some bias. If you look at this one's face, so many biases arise. There's no need for you to put your picture. As I had said before, personalize your CV and cover letter. In as much as there isn't a template, ensure that you go through it and make it yours. okay, make it yours. Even if somebody is doing it for you, give the person what to put in for you. Don't let people just come up with things for you on your CV. As I said before, tailor your CV and cover letter to the role applying. Never forget that. Ensure that it is in line with the job you're applying for. Don't use the same CV you used to apply to an FMCG, to apply to a fintech. It's not, if you check the JDs, it's different. So ensure that you're tailoring it. Nothing is cast in stone. So all the things I have said here, some of them might change based on your own experience, based on your own qualification, or as a result of the industry you're applying to. So just ensure that whatever you're communicating on your CV is communicating value. Whatever you're putting in there is showing that you are an achiever and that you can do what the job is asking for. Above all, do not lie on your CV. So even though I'm saying mirror your JD, do this and do that, ensure that everything on your CV is true. When it comes to the interview, they're going to ask you, if you're putting in data that is fake, they're going to ask you, when you work at a so place, you said that you did so percent. How did you do it? What were the challenges you faced? What did you do? At that point, you're at a loss and you might be embarrassed. So ensure that you do not lie on your CV. All right. So I believe that with this point of mine, I have been able to redirect you on the best way to present your CVs to hiring managers and to recruiters. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
So much, Attractor. Thank you for that very informative session. And I mean, even I've been writing loads of notes and jotting down points. So we're going to go straight into the Q&A session now. I do know that people have dropped some questions, but I just thought to mention that I'm going to launch a poll now, and I'd really appreciate and love if everyone can complete that poll. It will take you all of 30 seconds. So we'll run both concurrently. The poll will be up for you to complete while we're doing the Q&A. So thank you so much, Attractor. So straight into Q&A. So I'm just launching the poll, which I believe I've done. So please, we have so many people on this call. I'm hoping that I can get 100% of people to complete the poll. Right now, it's still stuck at 0%, but I'm hoping that by the time we go through Q&A, it will rise. So first question, Attractor, is, good morning. My question is that I have about 30 different certificates for different professions. Is it polite or ideal to include all of these certificates on my CV as my skills and to include on my CV, basically, just to summarize that question?
Okay, so as I said, ensure that you're tailoring it to the job you're applying for. Someone sent me a CV recently. He has about 2 years experience, but his CV was like 5 pages. And he had like 2 pages of training. So if the job is not asking you if you have done project management, it's not asking you if you've done a particular certification, just put in the key ones that apply to the job you're applying for. That's just the basic concept. So just put in the ones that will sell you better. If you put too much, it might not sell you well. It might be like, okay, yeah, a jack of all trades and maybe a master of none, but just ensure that it is in line with what you're applying for. And if there's on the job ad, they have requested, you must have a qualification in this, you should have certification in that. Put just those ones in there. So that's it.
Thank you, Attractor. So I have the next question. I think somewhere in your presentation, you had said, do not attach your CV from your drive. So the person is saying, I don't get it. Where else can I attach the file to my mail from, if not from my drive? Please enlighten us.
Okay, so what I mean is some people share their CV. You know, you did your CV on, if you do your CV on a Google Drive, on a Google Word document, and then you go and share, there's this space on the topmost right, you share it and you put the email. So it comes as a shared document. It doesn't come as an attached document. So that's what I mean. Yes, we save on the drive, but what I'm just trying to say is that do not share from your drive. When you share from your drive to someone, most times the person needs access from you to view that sheet. So better for you to download it from your drive and attach it to the document to make it seamless. So that's what I mean.
Thank you so much. Thank you. The next question, can one use first person pronouns in their CV? Hello, Attractor?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But I want to be sure that I get the question right. So if it's a female, does she mean like saying she did this, she did that? If that's what you mean, it's more advisable to use I, like saying I engaged or I managed this or I did, not she did. It's your CV, so you're telling us what you did, not what another person did. So always you advise to use the I instead of using the she or the he or the they, whatever. I hope I got the question right. How to communicate and answer.
Okay, thank you very much. Next question. Thank you for the opportunity. Oh, sorry, I'll just ignore that. The question here is, some employers do not state if they want a cover letter or not in their advert. Do you go ahead and just send a cover letter anyway?
Yes, it tells you more if you just send in a cover letter. And the best way is just to attach it on the body of, or not attach it as a document. So you copy and paste it on the body of the mail. So if you have a cover letter saying, "Dear hiring manager," let me put it in perspective. So there are two ways to attach a cover letter. As I said, you're either attaching it as an attachment, or you're pasting it on the body of the mail. So this time, or even if they don't ask for it, put that your cover letter on the body of the mail. Say, "Dear hiring manager, in response to your opening for so and so dash dash dash," it tells you better to have a cover letter instead of just having the please see attached.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Next question is, for an experienced hire, what is the realistic number of pages that my CV should have, or your CV should have?
Okay, so there's always this argument, it shouldn't be more than 2 pages, it should be more than 3 pages. If you're putting in basically your achievements under each place you have worked, your CV will not span into 4 or 5 pages. So I take it again, if you limit your CV to achievements, you will discover that it won't span into 3, 4, 5 pages. But there's no marking scheme to say my CV is more than 2 pages, it is wrong. The bottom line is that a recruiter has a few minutes. So why they always say do 2 pages, he has a few seconds to scan through your CV. So if it's too long, it might discourage the person. Ensure that you're able to communicate what you have done, all your achievements, in 2 to 3 pages. That is like the standard, 2 to 3 pages. But if they have asked you to tell us about all the projects you've worked on and all that, and you have like 10 years experience, your CV might span more than 3 pages, but it's best to just stick between 2 to 3 pages.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just a quick one. Kindly complete the polls for those that haven't done it. 80% has voted, so that's fantastic. Thank you. But we still have that 20% hiding somewhere. Kindly complete the polls, because when you do, we then know what to, we get your feedback, we take it on board, and it helps us decide on future webinars similar to this. So please, please, please complete the poll. Thank you. So Attractor, over to your next question. So this one is, I haven't got a particular role that I am applying for. However, I know the sort of sector I want to work in and the sort of company I want to work in. How do I sort of tailor the cover letter? So it's basically a general cover letter to a sort of organization that the person wants to work for, but the cover letter is probably going to go out to about 10 companies or so. Thank you.
Okay, so in other words, you're sending an unsolicited application.
Absolutely. I believe that's what
So
the question.
you're basically sending, or on that cover letter, you're communicating your skills and what you have done in the past, let's say years or past periods where you have, if it's school, if it's where you have actually served anywhere or the other, any place. But basic thing is you're communicating your skills on that letter, what you can do. I still do not agree that you should send the same cover letter to all of them. So if you're sending to company A and they're involved in, find out what each company is involved in and tailor it to that organization. Find out what the next one and tailor it to the other organization. Do not send a generic letter because what Mr. A is looking for is not the same thing that company B is looking for. But the bottom line is your skills, what you can do, and then how you can impact the organization and how your skills can make a change in that organization.
Great, thank you. Thank you for that. And we'll take about 2, maximum 3 more questions, and because I know I'm conscious of the time. So the next question is, since a CV is a direct replica of a LinkedIn profile, isn't it repetitive to include the link to your LinkedIn profile on your CV? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, it's not repetitive. It's just like a double check. So the person is like checking if what is there is actually the same as in your CV. He's checking so it's not just checking what you have done. It's actually also checking, okay, what have you posted on LinkedIn or your activity, your social media presence. So it's not just he's not just checking to see your experience and your achievements. He's also checking to see your presentation, your social media presence. And as I said, to double check that what you have presented is the same thing. And sometimes you just want to see your face. Let's see your face and say, if she's a fine girl or if I don't mind me. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. And then we'll take 2 more questions and call it a day. Explain further the difference between knowledge, skills, and competencies.
Okay. I gave an example before. So let's say you are what's profession? Okay, let's say you are an accountant. You went to school to learn, you studied it. The fact that you know those little the concepts, accounting principles, you know it, that's knowledge. Knowledge is like something you know in basic English, in basic translation. Then skills that you can do it. So as an accountant, I can do some bookkeeping. I can balance accounts. I can do basic accounting. Competencies means that you have become like you can actually teach someone how to do. You can show someone. I'm trying to look for a basic example of what competency means. It means you are competent in it. You can teach someone, right? So it's like a body of knowledge. Now you are experienced in financial management. You're experienced in you have a competence in bookkeeping, a competence in bookkeeping. So it's like a notch higher. You don't just know it. You don't just know how to do it, but you have the behaviors that are attributed to someone that performs the job very well. There are so many people that are accountants that they just know the basics. They just know the basics. But once you can communicate value, you can make decisions, you can prefer solutions to problems relating to financial management, you are now competent in it. So it's now a competency that you possess. So it's the same thing that applies to other areas. You don't just know it. You don't just know how to do it. I don't just know how to write. But I can creatively work with it. I can creatively teach someone how to do it. I'm in a dawn in that area. So that is what a competency means.
Thank you so much, Atrata. And then, well, I've got 2 hands raised up, so I think I'm going to ask one of them to ask their question verbally. I'll unmute them. But before we go into that, one final question from the Q&A box. Please, what are the soft skills and what are the hard skills? Thank you.
So
Final
soft
question.
skill. So soft skills are transferable skills, skills like writing, skills like interpersonal communication, that you can talk well, you can relate with people, skills like report writing, things that you can use in different areas, you can use in different professions. So if I can write as an accountant, I can write as an engineer, I can write as a whatever field. So soft skills are those skills that you can use everywhere. They're transferable skills. But hard skills, so the same example, an accountant, that's your technical skill. Hard skills are technical skills related to your profession. So if you are a project manager, things that are related to project management. If you are an IT, a tech developer, all those programming languages that you know are all hard skills. So it's not transferable. So someone that is a developer cannot work in a hospital, cannot do a doctor's job. He can work in a hospital, all right, but he cannot do a doctor's job. A doctor cannot do the job of, probably a developer. So hard skills are technical skills. Soft skills are skills that you can use anywhere. You can talk to people, you can write, you can develop things, you can present and all that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Attractor. And I think on that note, this is a good place to sort of call it a day. Thank you so much for all the tips that we have learned. Just to let everyone know, because I know a lot of people have asked, how do we get to rewatch this? Can we get the slides? Please note that the video is available on the LSUTF's YouTube channel for you to watch and rewatch and share, with friends and family. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for all that completed the poll. I am so certain that everyone has gone away, having learned one thing or the other. Even I have learned so much, and I'm like, okay, right, okay. So, continue to look out for events such as this. This is just the first in a series of events on CV writing, and your cover letters. Please avail yourselves of these opportunities. It's free. It's an hour, maximum 2, and you just go away with a wealth of knowledge. So, as stated in the beginning, LSCTF continues to support the MSME ecosystem, not just in Lagos State, because we found out that, in the audience today, we have people from Ogun State, we have people from other parts of the country. And so please avail yourself of these opportunities. We bring in, fantastic resource like Attractor today. Thank you so much, Attractor, for taking your time out of your busy schedule to teach us on these things that we, a lot of the mistakes that I have even made. I've heard the correct approach, and I'm happy to be here today. So once again, thank you, everyone. Any questions you still have, I think everyone has my email address from the registration link. Reach out to me, drop an email, and we'll try to take further questions and answers offline. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Amend that CV, put together that awesome cover letter that's going to get you that job, that dream job you're after. And, the sky is your limit. Thank you so much, and God bless. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Attractor. Thank you to our attendees. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much.